Max on one.
Are we ready?
Yes, sir.
I'll call the meeting to order. That is the meeting of the Board of Zoning Appeals, meeting December 31, 2023 at 6 o'clock.
That would be December the 21st, not 31st.
Did I say?
Today's date.
You said 31st.
Okay, 21st. Stand corrected. Thanks, Dennis. With the meeting called to order, I hope everyone has looked at the minutes of the previous meeting. And what's the wishes of the committee?
Make a motion to approve.
I second.
It is made, a motion made to approve and seconded. Those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed likewise. Motion carries, the minutes are approved. Now the approval of the agenda that's before us.
I move to approve the agenda.
A motion by Mr. Hunt to approve and seconded by,
Second, Helen.
and it is seconded. Any modifications or questions regarding the agenda? If not, those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed likewise. The motion to approve the agenda is passed. And the first and only item that I see on the agenda is the variance request. Are you here to
My
explain?
name is Richard Green. I'm
Richard?
the owner of the property that wants the
All right,
variance.
Richard, would you like to address this subject for us?
Yeah, I have one question to ask, and it may help clear it up, is the porches and steps okay to be on the easement?
I think it's the entire structure should be.
Correct.
To meet setbacks.
What are we, you say easement?
Well,
Do
I
you
mean the
mean
setbacks.
Okay.
Like if
That would be
the
two
reason
different
I
things.
asked for 44 feet is because the unit is 40 feet, which Mr. Gray has said that they recommend 5 feet each side, which would be 40 feet of usable space, 40 feet 6 inches. But I need to be able to put the steps on there. And at one time back a while, he mentioned that those could be on the in the setback because they weren't really, you know,
The structure.
they weren't the structure, they were just the steps and the porch. 'Cause
What size porch are we talking about, Mr. Green?
it'll probably be a 4-foot set, I mean, the steps have to go down, you know, like 4 feet, usually a set of steps comes away from the building. And that's my whole reasoning for it is, at one point, I can't guarantee who said it to me, but they said that the steps weren't part of the structure as far as the building itself that I'm asking for.
40 foot, right?
Yes, yeah. What Mr. Kurt Gray said was that he would recommend 5 feet each side, which would give me 40 feet. And since the last meeting, I have done everything that you've asked me to do. I did the survey, I did the soil scientist, I did the state permit for the septic, which I have, and I've done this septic system permit, I've done the power permit, I've done the water permit, all these things I've done, and I found a mobile double wide that they are gonna build 40 feet, no less. And so that's why I went to the 44s, because I didn't know if I needed the 4 feet for the steps. I know at one time, Mr. Gray told me I didn't need any extra for the AC unit, whereas sometimes they consider the AC unit part of the building, but it's removable.
Correct.
The porch that you addressed, is that a part of the structure or is that an add-on?
No,
The
it'll
porch.
just be an independent, I mean, it'll be next to the structure to walk into the house, but it won't be on the structure.
It'll be anchored to it though.
So
No, it won't be anchored to the building.
there's a question though about the
Okay.
porch. Your steps could be more than 4 foot depending on the height of the porch because your elevation coming down could exceed what you're saying as far as 4 foot. So at that point, then you would still be exceeding the guidelines that are set
Well,
forth.
at 5 block high, that is a 4-foot outlay on your steps.
Okay, so
The foundation is
all
gonna
of
be-
your land is level, and you're not having to go more blocks than any other.
No, I
Okay.
believe there should be pictures on your pad. The code compliance was out there today, taking a bunch of pictures of the property. And he said that they would be available at the meeting.
I don't see those.
Larry was out there.
Yeah.
I can go get the iPad. He did take pictures.
Larry,
Really good at-
he was a deputy, Larry or something.
He's our
So
compliance officer.
I have
Yeah.
another question, though.
Okay.
Have you talked to any of your neighbors about any of this?
Yes.
And what is their
Well,
opinion?
I have one neighbor only, which is Steve Reed, which.
That's
he-
one neighbor, but what about the subdivision? Because in most restrictions, when you're asking for a variance, most restrictions require that there be a majority of the homeowners to approve it before a variance is
Well, I don't
approved.
know
So that's
if
why I'm
you-
asking.
I know you haven't had a chance to look over anything, but the lot of record and the plat, which was done for Lakewood Park, was 5-foot setbacks on each side, 25 in the front, 10 in the back. And that lot is 80 by 200. Now, you folks changed it in 2006 to 50 feet in the front, 25 each side, and 25, I believe, in the back.
It was actually 50-50-50 in 2006. It's been changed since then.
To 25, 25, and still 50 in the front. And so the question was, Mr. Gray asked me, put a shotgun house in there. Well, in order for the septic system to have their backup septic system, which the state requires, and I have that here, I don't have room to put a house because they won't allow the lengthwise house to be put in their field, their auxiliary field for their septic.
What did it perk for?
A 1-bedroom, which is 2 sites. So the house that I'm having built is built by Clayton Homes in Talzania, Tennessee, and they're gonna make it a 1-bedroom, 2-bath, 1-bedroom, master bedroom, but the only limitation is they have to have 40 feet, because they can change the inside, but they can't change their structural outside to go shorter.
So one bedroom, and what's the total square footage of your unit? 40 by-
1152, I believe, or 1052, I believe.
Or the porch is gonna be on the side or the front?
The porch right now would be in the front where the 50-foot is. My question, if you could answer this, and I don't know if you can, is I was told that the setback rules were changed because of fire code. But why would you need to change the front when you already have 100 feet to the neighbor and you're only asking for 25 on the side? By changing the 25-foot front, you could maybe put a longer house or a house in there lengthwise. But if you're thinking 25 is enough for the fire code between the two, which is 50 feet, which my neighbor hasn't because he's got the plat of record, which is 5 feet, then the front shouldn't be to 50 feet because you've got 50 feet to the property line, 50 feet for the road access, another 50 feet to the next person across the street with the road as a break. Why would they need to change that?
We didn't change the front.
Yeah, it went from 25 to 50.
No, it didn't.
Ours
It's
was
always
never
been 50.
25, the county's was never that.
Well, in this record on 2006, when it was voted in as 50.
Yeah.
And Lakewood Park has it at 25, 25, 5, and 5, which was platted back, I don't know.
Lakewood Park's very unique. Right now, I'm looking at a sketch. Is this your sketch?
Yes,
You agree
that's
with all these numbers?
the
Except
state.
It shows a 37-foot long box, but you're saying it's gonna be built 40 feet.
It has to be 40. I think that what happened was when Alan went out there,
So he can have one, can?
he just roughly wrote it in there as a 25 by, it's not actually a 25 either, it's a 26 box with, so 28 with the overhangs. But he just wrote that in there. I did not draw that in there. at the time when he did this, I told him it was 26. Now, he might have taken the pieces of pipe that I drove in there to give him a reference point, because this property actually perked with the soil scientist in the front and the back. And
Which
the
is
front-
fine, but it's still just perked for a one-bedroom.
Yes.
What was your original purpose? Because as I recall, you were building this as a spec, and as I recall, something was mentioned larger than a one-bedroom.
Well, I originally put in the permit because I wasn't even aware of what happened with that lot with Alan at the state. When I put it in was 3-bedroom, but then him and I talked, and I said, I at least would like to get a 2-bedroom. If not, I'll have to go with the 1, because down the road from us, 1 perked for 1-bedroom. And he said, I can give you the 1-bedroom or the 2-bedroom, but you don't have enough soil site for your secondary field. And in the front of this lot, I could have moved this mobile clear to the back of that, clear to the back of that lot. This lot is completely cleared. I could have moved it clear to the back, but the soil was better in the back, 75 minute, compared to the front 75 minute, but the soil was better in the back than it was the front. Because I could have put a gravity system in the front, and I said I would. It didn't matter to me. I could have moved the mobile anywhere. But in order for me to set the mobile, I still have that
Thanks.
50-foot setback in the front.
Thank you.
There's a reason for that. Kurt answered that earlier today, but I can't remember what he said.
About the,
The 50-foot front. There's a reason for that. I just can't
Okay.
remember.
It's because the highway can come along and take your property. Any public thoroughfare
okay,
can take your front yard.
so the county is saying that they own my street, Lake Shore Drive. Is that what you're saying?
They can. I'm not saying they do,
Oh, okay.
but they can.
So when Lakewood Park made their plat and everything, after the 2-year period, they didn't assign the streets over to the county?
I
No,
don't think so.
No.
I think Lakewood Park will have to maintain their own streets.
Yeah,
But at any point,
right.
Lakewood could make the streets meet Coffee County's minimum standards, and the county would have to take them over.
Okay. I'm not good
Right
with
now,
the-
your 50 foot's not an issue, is it? I'm looking at 85 feet, right?
Well, it is if the mobile is 40 feet. 50 and 40 is 90.
I'm talking about your front setback from the street.
Yeah, that's not an issue.
You're 85 feet. Okay, so we're not talking about the front yard. All we're talking about is the 2 side yards, correct?
Yes, 2 sides, yes.
Okay, all right.
But I was just making the point that Mr. Gray said that I could put a shotgun house in there. Well, a shotgun house to me is front to back. So in order to get that in there with the septic fields that the state wants, I have to be less than 50 feet from the front property line. That's all I'm getting to.
Less
I
than
don't
50
need it.
For what you
Yeah,
want to put there.
I mean, the county is taking over 50 feet of my 80-foot lot, so that left me 30 feet in the middle. Well, the 30 feet doesn't work for anything but a straight back house, which I can't do because the state says I need that backup field for the septic. You have to have primary and secondary. I'm just trying to make it work. I'm not trying to make the park worse.
It's
I'm
been my
trying to-
experience in the past that Lakewood has always had drainage issues and septic issues anyway.
I had to put a
So-
280-foot interceptor drain in all the way
Therefore-
around the property.
Right. You have already?
Yes. That has nothing to do with the variances. That has to do with the state.
True, but I'm wondering, why would you have done that not knowing if we're going to approve this or not?
Well, I'm going by the staff recommending giving me the 10 feet, 5 feet on each side. I can make it work if you allow me to put that set of steps in that.
So 5 feet, if we give you a 20-foot, give you a 5-foot variance each side, 20-foot and
That-
20-foot side yard, you're good to go.
Yeah, I'm good to go. I can put the 40-foot home in there and have a few inches left over because the lot isn't actually 80 by 200. It's tapered, so it's like 80 foot 6 inches here, 80 foot 10 inches there. And That's all I'm asking. I'm not trying to run the property down. I'm trying to improve the property.
Okay, we have recommendation from staff to allow him the 5-foot variance. If you read on the agenda.
Yes. While you're looking and thinking just a minute, I'd like to recognize this gentleman. Do you have any comments on this subject matter to share with us?
No, but it's interesting to hear how it's actually done in this process.
Okay. I just wanted to recognize you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
I'm used to seeing a document from homeowners saying that, yes, they approve this. That's what I'm used to
Well,
seeing.
if I might add, the Lakewood Park has already approved it 30 or 40 years ago when they put the setbacks at 5 foot each. They've been in here and had meetings with you folks trying to get them changed to 15 foot on each side, just so that we can use these 80-foot lots.
Helen, you asked earlier about the neighbors. The first thing that happens when he applies is they send letters to adjacent property owners. And if they have a problem with it, it's
They're
their
supposed to
duty to
show
be
up.
here,
Okay.
okay?
And Mr. Reed,
There
he
was
was
one
here.
person showed up at the last meeting
Here's a
when
letter
he
on
was
that.
here
We'll send it out
without
again, so
septic
everybody got
approval.
notified.
Yes.
And he didn't have any problem with
Okay.
it, so that just so.
Basically, he is wanting an understanding of what was taking place.
You
He
wanna know
didn't
why
have
I
a
got a
problem.
letter.
He didn't
Yeah.
have a problem with
Right.
it.
He came and talked to me after that, and I explained to him, and he understood it. And he said, I don't need to go tonight. What you have planned is okay by me.
So this is gonna be investment property.
I'm
You're
good
not
with
gonna
what
occupy
Kurt
it,
said.
correct?
I don't really think that's a point.
Well, I'm
Is
just
it a point to
saying,
you? Everybody asks me, are you gonna live there or are you gonna sell it? What is that point to the variance?
I think that everybody asked that because number 3 on standards for a variance, it says it can't be monetary.
Well, it can't be a monetary to change the variance, but it says you have to be able to use the property.
well, monetary to me would be that it would be owner occupied.
I think it's irrelevant.
So if you want me
It's
to own it
irrelevant
for a
what he's
year,
gonna
that's-
do with the house.
No, it-
We
it-
build a structure
yeah.
there, that's totally irrelevant.
I would hope that somebody would take and build a new place every month on those properties.
So would
and
I.
We
do it
need the tax
legally,
revenue.
Exactly.
and do it legally, as I've tried to do it with everything you've asked me to do. Probably $20,000 worth of investment so far. And I'm just saying, if everybody did it the same way, and we got these things in there so that we could improve this park, then some of the bad stuff in the park would go away.
So this would only be a one-time variance. We're not doing it across the board for the whole subdivision.
No, no,
Okay.
no. Mr. Green, do you have further comments you'd like to share with us?
No, but I'll take any questions you have. I don't mind.
Are there other questions from the committee members?
I make a motion to approve the 5-foot reduction in each side yard setback as approved, as recommendation by our staff, as recommended by our staff.
You've heard the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
And it is seconded. Is there further discussion, questions, or comments? Yes, Mr. Green?
I didn't quite get the answer about the steps yet. Would that be something Kurt would have to do, or can I, if it's, I don't plan
I
on it?
don't think that's gonna be a huge deal.
Okay.
He's gonna come out, someone's gonna come out to make an inspection. And
Yes.
so he will let you know at that point. So I would talk to him
Okay,
before you ordered your home to make sure that it's not an issue for the steps or the air conditioning pad or anything else that you plan on adding to it that might violate.
I'll check with him in the
variance.
morning if he's here.
It'd probably be Mr. Floyd.
We will not be here, and we will not be back till the 27th.
Oh, you're off tomorrow. Okay.
And I would suggest you get that in writing.
Oh, I will.
Okay.
Any other comments or questions? Thank
No,
you.
thank
I'll-
you.
I'll ask for the vote. Those in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed likewise. Motion carries. Your request is granted under the stipulations Mr. Hunt identified.
So will my plat for that lot be changed? or just be recorded as a variance?
This action by this board,
Will be recorded in the minutes.
it will go, the property, it follows the property, not you.
Okay.
Forever, that parcel will forever have a 20-foot side yard setback
Okay.
allowance,
All right,
no matter who owns it from now on.
thank you.
Very good. Is there any other items to come before the committee?
I would like to say I'm glad that due to recent absences in other committees, I like to see a 5-member committee have at least 3 in total agreement. 2 of us could have made this decision. I never think that's appropriate. So I appreciate everybody being on board with this action, that we all agree, because it looks so much better.
It does. Any other questions or comments?
I move to adjourn.
Second?
And those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
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 Let's adjourn, folks. Thanks, everyone.
You're welcome.
You're good.